Good morning. It's Wednesday, April the 15th, and I'm here with your bell ringer answer from yesterday, Tuesday, April the 14th. First off, let me say that I really appreciate how dedicated many of you have been to staying up with all of your assignments and all of your tasks. For this week, just remember that there's a bell ringer every single day. There's a video that goes over the bell ringer answer from the previous day, and there's a 3-for-3 slideshow that gives you some key information about political geography. So those things are there for you every single day. I'm not going to lie to you. You don't have to do them. CPS has said that, we're not doing grades and all that sort of stuff, but we are doing the AP exam. So these are things that I've put together to help you get ready for that AP exam, and I really would hope that you would take advantage of those. As always, email any questions that you've got. Those of you that have been sending questions, I've been trying to get them right back out to you just as quickly as possible. I'm pretty much glued to this computer from about 6:30 in the morning until about 2:30 in the afternoon, and then I try to check it a couple of times during the day, during the evening. I'll try to stay faithful with getting those answers back out to you. All right, so yesterday's bell ringer talked about the terms of enclave and exclave. Now, you'll find enclave and exclave explained in more detail in the Google meeting that I recorded yesterday. And yes, I know I promised it would be out yesterday, but it took way longer to upload to the Google Drive than I ever thought it would. So it's up there this morning, Wednesday morning. Take a look at it if you'd like. As it says in the question, morphology is not on the AP exam anymore, but terms like enclave and exclave are still really important because how space is being used is still really, really a key concept in political geography. So the definition for an enclave, it's a piece of territory that is completely enclosed in another separate single country. So think like Lesotho completely inside South Africa. Okay. Enclaves are extremely common, but most people don't realize they even exist. They're the most common in Asia, where you have little pieces of old Asian countries that have been around for hundreds or thousands of years, whose borders have moved back and forth. All right, so if you wanted some other examples of an enclave, you could look at things like little pieces of Vietnam that are inside of China, or little pieces of China that are inside of Vietnam, or pieces of Armenia that are inside of Azerbaijan, and vice versa. The implications for enclaves is that you have pieces of territory where you must cross a border in order to reach the rest of your own country. This requires that countries have a working relationship, and it's a reminder that while political power stops at the border and another country's political power starts, things like trade, visiting family members, social connections, those things go on across borders all the time. We have an 1800s system for dividing up land, but a 21st century economy for how countries will work together economically, socially. All right, an exclave is a piece of territory that is separated from the rest of the country. Okay, so you have to be an exclave, there must be at least two pieces, the main portion of the country and then this fragment piece someplace else. And there are exclaves all over the place. A little tiny piece of Russia, for example, that is stuck over in Eastern Europe that is not connected to the rest of the country. Parts of Washington State, part of the United States, that is not attached to the rest of Washington State, instead is attached to Canada. So the only way to reach that would be to pass through Canada in your car and then pass back into Washington State or the U.S. Alaska would also be seen as an exclave. Okay, so exclave, a piece of territory that is separated from the rest of the country. And I've just given you a bunch of examples. Now, here's one thing you want to note. Sometimes exclaves, they are also enclaves. Sometimes exclaves, a piece of territory separated from the rest, is also completely surrounded by another single sovereign country. Then it's also an enclave. Not all enclaves, though, are exclaves. The example I used first for an enclave was Lesotho in South Africa. It is completely inside South Africa, but it is not an exclave because it's not carved off of another piece of territory. There is no other part of Lesotho. Okay, so exclaves. Exclaves have many of the same problems that enclaves do, but they also have this added disconnect because they're part of another country. Yes, they are going to experience problems where you have to cross a border into another country, but they necessitate this all the time just to function as a single country. You must go through another country in order to reach the rest of your own country. So you could have business A that is involved in region 1 and region 2 of the same country, and it has to do business in both of those areas, but it also has to pass through another sovereign state. That means customs, inspections, border crossings, just to do things that you take for granted in going from Indiana to Kentucky to Ohio. Okay, right now that's maybe not a great example because nobody's going anywhere. But in theory, if we were going places, you'd be able to do so easily, traveling from one piece of your country to the next. Students often ask, is Hawaii an exclave? No. You do not have to pass through another sovereign country to get to Hawaii. We'll deal with how we handle the oceans in a later Google meeting. Okay, so I hope that helps you out in thinking about these two concepts. You go back to their definitions, realize both of them involve crossing borders into other countries, but only one of them involves being able to connect to your own country. That's exclave. Enclaves could also be exclaves and have that same problem, but they don't necessarily have to be. They could be their own standalone country. All right, so please make sure you're staying up with all of your work. Ask questions if you've got them. Otherwise, stay safe. Have a good day.